Hello, 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 welcome back to Hunter Tuned and Baby Tuned. Mr. Maverick is out at the shop with me today. So we are out at the shop to show you guys something really exciting that I just bought today. And I did not plan on buying this car. It just kind of fell in my lap, you know, 3 days after I made the last video talking about how I wanted to do an all-wheel drive build on my blue sedan. And I already have the transmission and some stuff to do the all-wheel drive on my blue EK sedan with the K24 in it. But I was scrolling Marketplace the other day, which is sometimes probably the worst thing you can do, right? But I think it actually paid off, because I was scrolling through Marketplace and I saw this ad, and I might post a screenshot of the ad. Pretty much said, Civic for sale, K-swapped, all-wheel drive turbo. And I'm like, what's this? Like, is this a scam or something? Needless to say, it's in my trailer and I bought it. So after talking with the guy for a little while yesterday on the phone, I pretty much told him, like, from the sounds of it, the parts and stuff that are listed in the ad, well, I don't know if they were listed in the ad, but he sent me the parts list after the fact. And I pretty much said, like, I'll buy it, just knowing what parts it has, because it's pretty much the parts that I would buy or want or need to do the build in my blue car. I don't even know what to say, but it's got a lot. I'm gonna stop babbling right now, and I'm just gonna unload it off of the trailer, pull it in the shop, and we could talk about it more once it's in the shop. But I feel like I got a really good deal on this thing, especially for how well built it seems to be. But I also thought I got lucky on this black car, which I think I still did, but the engine's out of it. So just more projects, right? What do you think, buddy? Are we gonna make 500 horsepower with your car? Are you gonna two-step? Are you gonna go two-step? What do you think, Roxy? What? What's up, buddy? You wanna go drive your car?
Okay.
Hello, Roxy Balboa. Rocky Balboa. Roxy Balboa. Mama shark. Baby shark. Dog shark. Daddy shark. Sorry, this whole like being a parent thing really gets the best of you. Bluey! Alright guys, so I got the sedan, the one I just picked up, the all-wheel drive car. I just got it up on the hoist. I took this car for a really small test drive before I bought it, but like I said, just seeing the parts and stuff that are on the car, I just gave the guy the money and took off. He said he had other people that offered him like 15 grand for the car, and he said, you're lucky I held it for you. I don't know, I was the first guy to hit him up with cash. I just said, hey, I got cash, I can come up right now. And he knew I was a no BS kind of buyer, so he sold it to me. This car has so much going on underneath of it, I don't even know where to start. But what I'm gonna do first is I'm actually gonna pressure wash the bottom of it, because like I can see there's a little bit of oil leaking here on the transmission or transfer case. And there's a little bit of just like road grime and stuff back here. Maybe there's a little bit of seeping on the fuel lines. If you guys don't notice, this has a straddled tank in it from Fuel Cell Services, or Fuel Cell, FCS, Fuel Cell Systems. I can't even. All right, I'm gonna clean it off, so then we'll actually talk about it once I clean it all off. All right, welcome back to Bought Not Built. I degreased the whole bottom side of the car and I pressure washed it so we can get a better look at stuff without like oil and stuff on the bottom of the car. I was concerned because I did see some oil leaking like by the transmission area and like by the fuel tank. There was just some like road grime and stuff, so I wanted to make sure like nothing was leaking. So I got it all cleaned off, and I'm gonna just do a quick walk around underneath the car, and then we'll get to under the hood after. But I've already gotten carried away with myself. Over the last couple days, I've just been kind of wiping it down, cleaning the bottom side, and just looking at stuff to familiarize myself with it a little bit more. and there's already some issues that I'm going to address prior to even driving the car. I found a few concerning issues that I'm going to show you guys right now. But let's take a look at some of the goodies that it has as well. So starting from the back of the car, we do have a Megan Racing muffler with a 3-inch custom exhaust. So this is a custom stainless, all TIG welded, V-banded exhaust that is ovaled to fit under the car. It's funny, like you guys know, when I was talking about doing the all-wheel drive stuff on my sedan, I'm like, if I do an all-wheel drive sedan, it's gotta have exhaust, like a full exhaust. And I shit you not, guys, like I did plan on just doing my own all-wheel drive, but this just made way more sense. And it just fell right into my lap. I think God's timing is just like, hey, here you go. Maybe, I don't know. But it's funny that it's 3 days later after I made that video. But so we, I could not pass this car up. It's got a lot of money in parts, and you guys know me, I'm a sucker for a good deal. Something that I can either make money on reselling or parting out or whatever, but this thing is like too legit to quit, it seems. Anyways, enough babbling. So it does have a Hub City Performance all-wheel drive kit. All the rear stuff is all Hub City Performance. It has Skunk 2 Pro 2 coilovers, which I actually love these coils. And it's another funny thing is I told my buddy, I'm like, man, it's my sedan is on those Max Peating Rod coils. I'm like, I should put a set of like Skunk 2 Pro 2s on it because they're like the perfect for like a sedan's weight and stuff like that. They're like the perfect coil in my opinion. I had them on a hatch and they worked really good for drag racing, but they were a little stiff for the street. So I was like, man, with a sedan, these coils would probably be pretty damn perfect. Oop, I'm like not even filming myself. I'm sorry, guys. Anyways, rear disc, obviously with the Hub City stuff, I think it's all stock CRV. Rear diff and stuff like that. I don't know what axles these are. They're pretty stock looking. They look like CRV axles or something. Yeah, so I don't know a whole lot about all that. It looks like we got a little bit of a drip right there. I don't know what that's from. Is this fuel? It doesn't smell like anything. Yeah, it doesn't smell like anything, so that's good. It's probably just water from sitting up there. Moving on, still at the back of the car, stock differential, I'm pretty sure, but the test drive when I went on it, when I turned the corner, the rear was chirping, so it probably is a locked up CRV diff from my assumption. It has an FCS saddle tank in it, so this is a fuel tank that accommodates for the diff and drive shaft, which is insanely cool to have this fuel tank set up. I think I Googled the fuel tank in this car, like with the hoses and stuff like that. This fuel tank is like 1,800 bucks. Like, holy crap. So super nice fuel tank that goes to the stock filler neck, I'm pretty sure. And then these hoses come back and go up to a surge tank. So there's a radium surge tank in the trunk that I'll show you guys here in a second. But this is just like scratching the icing. Like, this is just like the beginning of what's all in this car. It's insane. It's insane. And I probably won't even be able to go through all of it. But maybe I'll try to go through a lot of it right now, and then I'll make a separate video talking about the little fixes that I'm doing right now. So yeah, the exhaust, I'm pretty sure like all those upper camber arms and the lower camber arms and the trailing arm bushings and everything like that are all from Hub City, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so moving forward from the fuel tank and the diff and the rear stuff and the exhaust, we move forward to see that it has a Holley fuel filter here with it's just like an inline Bosch pump or something. It looks like a 044 maybe, or maybe it's a Walbro. I don't know. You guys can tell me down in the comments. It's all push lock hose. That's all like E85 rated. And then moving forward here, we'll talk about the drive shaft. This is an S1 built drive shaft. So you can see here it's an S1 built 60K viscous, 60K CST it says. 60K CST, I'm not sure what that means. And You can tell it's been in Wisconsin for a little while. It's got some rust on the caps and stuff like that. The shaft itself looks pretty clean yet, but like where the U-joints are and stuff definitely has a little surface rust on it. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. One of the issues that I already found with the car though is the drive shaft bolts are loose on the front, especially when I was shaking this. You can see that the drive shaft bolts are actually loose. So I definitely got to get that tightened up and whatever before I drive it. But like even how they mounted the exhaust, look how awesome this is with these little poly bushings. Somebody did a really good job putting this car together, guys. And they like welded these little plates with threads inside of them so you can just thread the bolt up into the body. And they did the same for the drive shaft carrier mount. They like welded these little, you can see the little welds right there where the bolts go up into it. Just insanely cool. I don't understand this whole ground wire thing going across the chassis here. There's one back here as well. I don't really understand that. Why there's like that ground wire thing there. And there's two of them. So I don't know what's up with that. Another thing too that's always sketched me out about an all-wheel drive Honda is like, I don't think there's a drive shaft safety loop anywhere. Like if this drive shaft came apart, it would be probably pretty scary, but there is the carrier bearings and stuff like that, which I think alleviate a lot of the need for a safety loop, but I'm not sure. This is my first rodeo over here, guys. So bear with me. Bought, not built, yo. The fuel lines, like I said, they're all pretty E85 rated or whatever. I gotta try to adjust some of the hangers for the fuel lines because they're kind of rubbing on these like metal tabs that they built for it. It looks like there's a breather hose that's coming back here. Looks like a metal, yeah, metal hose right here for something. Yeah, I'm just checking out all the like rub areas where the hoses are. It's always a good thing to do on a drag car or fast car like this. Yeah, it has an ethanol content sensor in the fuel line as well, so that's pretty awesome. Moving forward, this is more of the exhaust and then the engine we can see up here. I believe it has insane shafts. I'll maybe post a screenshot of some of the stuff that the guy told me about, but definitely didn't tell me everything that this car had. So I'm pretty sure it's got like insane shafts. It's got a stock CRV transmission and diff. Trevor Googled the oil pan on the engine, and it's like a, fuck, I forgot what it is. But it's like $1,000 oil pan. Crazy looking oil pan here. It's a built engine, built K24. You can see it's got a super damper on it. It's like 11-to-1 compression, the guy said. Boost line rods. It's got a Clutch Masters twin disc clutch in it. We'll look under the hood here in a second. It also has an oil cooler on it that I'm actually in the process of deleting because the oil cooler hoses are about to burst because the shifter has been rubbing on the oil cooler hoses. So I'm gonna be deleting this cooler for now, just so I can not deal with the hoses rubbing and all that kind of stuff. The brakes up front are absolutely insane. They're like Willwood six piston brakes with 2-piece brake rotors. It's just got some Rota slips on it, Rota 16-inch slips. It's got like PLM intercooler, and the car itself is so clean too. Like, it's got like OEM Stanley headlights that are just mint. The rest of the car is flawless, guys. Like, no rust, other than the surface rust on some of the parts. But like the body, honestly, probably a 9 out of 10. I'd say it's just as clean as my S2000. Maybe not quite as clean paint-wise, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So let's get this thing back down onto the ground here. And I'll talk more about under the hood and like some of the goodies it has like inside the car. It has like a $500 clutch pedal. It's like a billet adjustable clutch pedal. Everything's like hybrid racing. This thing's like high dollar stuff, guys. And I got it for 10 grand. I'd be dumb not to. I'd spend like more than that doing all-wheel drive and turboing my car. So getting this thing with like a ton of really good stuff on it is like, yeah, let's do that. One really annoying thing about this car, it's probably cool for some of y'all, but it has this Viper alarm, and every time I buy a Honda with an alarm system, it drives me nuts, because you like can't even touch the car, or it's just gonna scream. So that's kind of annoying. We'll get to under hood in a second. I want to show you guys the trunk. Look at that. It's even got a Momo steering wheel, just like my just like the one I just put in my other sedan. I have the blue version of this wheel, and this one is the black stitching with the black horn. It's all LED lights all around with the flashing brake lights. Here's that surge tank I was talking about. Radium. Super nice piece there. I don't even know if this is like, I don't even know how these freaking things work. All I know is it's like out of gas. It's like out of fuel, I'm pretty sure, because the gas gauge is showing empty, and like when you knock on the tank, it sounds hollow, like it's completely out of gas. And I don't know if the guy was running it on pump gas, or if he was running it on E85. He didn't know anything about it, and it smelt like pump gas when I was running it. So I'm gonna put E85 in it, obviously, especially for like a higher compression engine and stuff. It's just fucking locked again on me, come on. Just crazy stuff, guys. Like, I am so fortunate to be able to have found this car, and I'm very excited to start working on it and do some things. I've already got some stuff taken apart under the hood. This isn't how I got it, but I've been starting to take it apart, getting ahead of myself, just to kind of see what's up with these hoses, and it felt really weird going into first gear. So like, that's part of the reason I was gonna do these fixes, is like where the shifter cable is. I took this intercooler pipe out, and I found this is one of the oil cooler hoses that's like, you know, this whole thing is like breaking apart from the shifter rubbing on it and hitting it. So I'm just gonna get rid of those hoses to simplify this thing. Twin disc clutch with like the hydraulic slave cylinder or whatever. There is no slave cylinder, it's just like hydraulically going into the trans. I don't really know how any of that stuff works either, but it's like hybrid racing, all this stuff. It's got a 3-port Mac valve on it already, tile 60mm gate with a Go Auto Works turbo manifold, so that's pretty cool. It's got a giant wastegate. It's got a Pulsar dual ball bearing, 6266 or something. The Skunk 2 RBC style manifold with a 70mm throttle, hybrid fuel rail. This is a pretty cool catch can. Reggie built. So that thing looks pretty sweet. It has working air conditioning and power steering. It has no heater though. They didn't hook up the heater core hoses. So it has AC and power steering, but no heater. So I might have to get that going. This is a super nice radiator with a shroud, spall fans. Engine bay's a little bit dirty, but the guy said it's a Skunk 2 stage 3 cams in the head. Just like all these caps and stuff. This is all hybrid racing, like oil cap and dipstick. Just nuts, guys. Unit 2 oil pan. Unit 2 oil pan. I just saw it, the label on it. And then as far as like the motor mounts and stuff, I think it's all Hasport. And then underneath it has a traction bar in the front with a mount going from the traction bar to the trans, and then it also has the rear mount. I was a little bit scared because by the transfer case and by the transmission is leaking a little bit of oil, but it does look like it's coming from higher up, like possibly like the speed sensor might be leaking. So I'm gonna try to see if I can fix that oil leak as well, but I hope it's not something where like the trans is cracked or anything like that, because people are telling me like if you run anything but the Hub City rear mount, the engine block or the transmission will crack. So I've been hearing stuff about that, but I don't know if anybody does that front mount off of the traction bar like this car has, if that like alleviates some of those issues from possibly happening, because it seems like this car's been together for quite a while. and I really hope that it's not going to crack a transmission or anything like that. But we'll see. Time will tell, right? I don't even know what engine harness is in it. It's on a Honda K Pro. You guys saw the Momo steering wheel. Oh, this thing's going to scream at me if I open the door. It has all innovative gauges, which I'm not really a fan of. I prefer the AEM just because they're a little bit more simple than these. I think it's a hybrid shifter box. I'm going to show you these pedals, guys, because I've never seen these. I've never seen these pedals before. And Trevor's like, dude, look, it's got a billet clutch pedal. And I'm like, are you serious? Look at that clutch pedal. FJ? It says FJ. I don't know what that means. And then it's got finishing lines gas pedal. Huh. And then all the brake lines are inside the car. You can see the brake lines back there by the tip of the flashlight. They're coming through. It's all stainless braided brake lines. Pretty sure it has a JDI ghost box for a radio, but I don't know how to hook it up or if it's even in there. Trevor said it looks like it has a JDI ghost box, because usually whenever they put this plate in where the radio is, that means that it's a ghost box. But then it also has this pretty sweet airbag delete thing. I actually really think that's pretty sweet. It's all factory interior. Other than that, like the seats and stuff are very, very clean seats. Yeah, so, oh man, that stupid alarm. I really just want to get rid of it. I hate these freaking alarms because they just annoy the shit out of me. They're just locked. So anyways, I want to put my own little touch on this thing, but it made way more sense for me to just go pick this thing up. It just kind of fell in my lap and it was a pretty good deal, so I just figured I'd go scoop it. It is a Pulsar turbo, which I've had a couple guys ask me questions on like the turbos that I sell versus the Pulsar. They're virtually the same thing. I've actually talked to Varen at VS Racing, like, hey, what's up with these Pulsar turbos? They look identical to VS Racing stuff. And he said they're made in the same exact factory. It's just different label. But the stuff I sell is like the same as Pulsar, and you know, it's all like high-end Chinese stuff, you know, or like quality Chinese parts. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to work, guys. Maybe I'll film a little outro once I figure out I'm gonna get rid of this oil cooler and stuff like that, do an oil change on this thing, check the trans fluid, all that kind of stuff, and then put some gas in it, because if it ain't got no gas, then it can't go nowhere, you know. So I'll cut to after I work on this thing a little bit more and give you some of my closing thoughts, and then you guys will have to let me know what kind of content you want to see with this thing, what kind of specifics you want me to work on or talk about, because I'm learning with you guys here on this car. But what a screaming deal. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for this amazing opportunity in this car to have fallen in my lap. All right, guys, picking up after I worked on this thing for a little while, I did an oil change on it. I deleted the oil cooler, and I just took the sandwich plate off where it had the lines coming in and out for the oil cooler. I can always put it back on later, but I want to eliminate anything, any possible oil leaks, because I'm trying to trace down exactly where any oil leak is coming from. I don't think the engine is really leaking any oil, but I think maybe somewhere on the transmission possibly could be leaking, or that oil cooler could have been leaking oil on top of the transmission and just like leaking down onto it, because I don't know if there's those hoses like were seeping through anywhere, because it does kind of seem like that could have been a possibility. So now like I said, I deleted the oil cooler sandwich plate and I just put a new OEM Honda filter on it, and I just threw some 1040 in it. I didn't really know what kind of oil to run in it because I didn't build this motor. Probably, I don't know, it depends on the bearing clearances they ran, but this oil was really old. It was black coming out of here. This thing's been kind of neglected for a little while, and I'm hoping that I can bring it back to its proper glory here. I actually just talked to the guy that I got it from, and he was telling me, because I was like, I'm gonna put some gas in this thing because the gas gauge was all the way down to empty, and I went to the gas station, I got 6 gallons of E85, and I probably put maybe 3 gallons in, and it started leaking out of the top, like it was full, topped off. And now the gauge says full. So I don't know if like how them saddle tanks work, like how it crosses over and stuff like that. But I couldn't really put more than like 3 gallons in, and he said that he's been running 93 in it. That's a little concerning to me, considering he told me, you know, doing 150 mile an hour pulls on 27 pounds of boost with pump gas in it. That's a little scary. And then there was coolant coming out of the overflow, so like, you know, maybe it was lifting the head because it's on pump gas. So it's got a content sensor. I just put a couple gallons of ethanol in it, and I don't know what else to do with this thing other than maybe plug the K-Pro in and see what it looks like on the tune. And then I want to maybe swap the oxygen sensor out because the wideband in the car is just reading 22.4, like all the way lean, which usually tells me that it's a bad sensor, or who knows what these freaking innovative piece of crap gauges. They're not pieces of crap, they're just like, just really sensitive gauges in my opinion. They're like, you know, maybe you could say they're the most accurate or whatever. I don't like them because they're complicated. I'd rather just keep it simple. AEM Uego X series widebands, you just put power and ground to it and plug a sensor in and they just work perfect every time. So unless they're bad, you know, then you just get a new wideband. But the X series, especially AEM X series, I've never had an issue, and they're just so much simpler than these innovative gauges. And even the oil pressure gauge in the car, I'm gonna fire it up here in a second and I'm gonna show you. It's just like, it just dances all over the place. Like it's not like it's like 82, 78, 82, 78, 82, 83, 87, 84, 80, you know what I mean? Like where my X series on my S2000 is like, it probably within like 4 PSI and it just holds there, like 65 PSI. 67, 68. It's not like, you know, whatever. Minor problems for such a good deal on a car. I can't complain. Also, I think I overfilled it because it is leaking a little bit of fuel back here somewhere now that I put more fuel in it. There's like a little drop and it's coming from way up top here. So it's probably just overfilled. But like I said, I don't know, like, you know, maybe it is got a bunch of fuel in it and I don't really know how it works, but I also tightened the drive shaft bolts. Yeah, I could probably take it off the lift or plug a Honda into it. I think my first drive with this car, once I get the wideband working so I can like monitor stuff, I'm gonna disconnect the boost controller and just see like how low a boost it's on, or like what the wastegate spring's set at. I hope it's only on like 5 pounds, or 10 at most on just wastegate with no controller, because this thing does not need 27 pounds of boost on the street. That's honestly, this K24 with 11-to-1 compression, if it was truly on 27 pounds of boost, and the tune is like anywhere near close, this thing makes 800 horsepower on that amount of boost for sure. So, well, I just went to replace the wideband sensor. And sometimes properly put together cars are actually kind of annoying to work on because they ran which is good. All this stuff is cool, guys, but like when you want to work on it, it makes it a little bit more challenging. There was a grommet right there that I removed from the floor, and the wideband wiring goes into the car here. So this wire right here goes to the sensor that's on the downpipe, and then they have this sensor, which probably is the factory one for the ECU. And I don't know how, I can't get the connector like through here to unplug it and plug my new sensor in. So now I got to go back in the interior of the car, got to lower the car back down and then figure out like where like maybe under the carpet somewhere is where all that stuff is jammed up in there, and then see if I can unplug it, shove it through, shove the new one in, and then see if the wideband starts working with a sensor that I have laying here. Well, I finally found the plug inside the car, and I had to go up and down about 8 more times, and this plug is like the same exact size as this hole, and it is so tight I don't even know if it's gonna come through here. I think I might have got it actually, but holy crap, come out of there. Oh dude, I really don't know if this is gonna go through. Did they like feed the sensor through here? Wow, dude. they must have like fed the sensor through the inside of the car and then up to the exhaust so the plug was in the car still, or something along those lines. Woo, this is above my pay grade. I can't tell you guys how relieved I am after spending like 30 minutes putting a wideband in this thing, a new sensor, that it was just the sensor, thank God. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. I have working air fuel, thank God. So here's the oil pressure, and then I think this one's oil temp. I don't know if it's coolant temp or oil temp, because there is actually a temperature sensor, an aftermarket one on the thermostat or the coolant hose, and then there's also one in the oil pan. So I don't know. But now I'm gonna probably get it off of the lift, tidy up the rest of the wiring, and then I'm gonna plug the K-Pro in and see what else we can see. All right guys, I just got the car off of the lift. Give you a little walk around and so you can hear it running. I absolutely love these OEM Stanley headlights with the LEDs. Looks so good. I put the turbo guard back on. Wideband's working. I'm stoked about that. Probably way more than I should be. This thing sounds deep. I still can't believe I own this thing. It is actually quite crazy that like everything works. Almost 100 pounds of oil pressure. And the wideband's working. I actually have faith in this tune, because like it fires immediately. Granted, it's on pump gas. But it starts right up and it idles really well. Usually like stuff with 2200s in it like don't idle this good. At least I think it has 2200s, that's what he told me. But now I'm gonna plug the K-Pro in and I'm gonna show you this passenger side footwell. I'm not dogging on this car whatsoever, guys. I just got a little bit annoyed with the thing on power windows over here. Now you can hear me. All the locks work. Like this thing is flawless, guys. It's just put together really, really well. It's just sometimes when you do stuff like to this caliber, it's a little bit more tricky to figure out what they all did. Especially because like I didn't build the car and the guy that I got it from didn't build the car. So it's a little bit different to figure that stuff out with. But I'm gonna show you the passenger side footwell. It has like a Willwood proportioning valve, an adjustable one. All the brake lines and stuff inside the car. It's just fucking sweet. Oh, did I mention it has power steering and air conditioning? What? All right, so I peeled the carpet back here. We got the K-Pro over here. And yeah, so like there's the prop valve, the Willwood adjustable proportioning valve, and all this stuff is like inside the car. Just crazy attention to detail on this thing. So mad props, honestly, mad props to whoever built this car. It's got like kicker tweeters in the doors. I really got to figure out if it's got that JDI Ghost box or not. I'd love to hear the stereo. It's probably just as good as everything else. I'm going to give it a quick rev for you guys so you can hear what she sounds like with this oval exhaust. Not sure if the camera picked up the audio that well, but anyways, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, bought not built, but I'm sorry, it was a good deal. Thanks for watching, guys. I still don't honestly believe I own this thing. And yeah, God bless everybody. Have a great night and a better tomorrow. This is unreal.